Yeah, everybody, we are out in this paddock of oats. As you can see, it has been cut. We didn't cut it. So this is the one with the cypress tree. So this is the last paddock that we sowed, second paddock of oats that we sowed. Out here with Dad. I think it was Simon who cut this. Yeah, Simon and his uncle. Simon and his uncle came out here and cut all this for us. I'll let Dad explain reasonings why, but yeah, it's all been cut, which is good. So we'll get Dad's opinion on this and sort of what happened and etc, etc. As you guys know, it's been a wet year. It's a dry, warm day today, but don't worry, it's going to rain tomorrow. Yeah, so I'll give you over to Dad and he can have a bit of a chat about this oats.
Yeah, g'day viewers. We got Simon and his uncle to come and actually condition it with their machine, because it'll bring it in quicker instead of us mucking around with old time machinery with the slasher and waiting it for it to cure and then raking it and whatever. So if Cam shows you the rows, I think it was about a 4 metre cut they got with their machine, John Deere conditioner. There'll be it's turned out not too bad, considering we never got to spray it to get rid of a lot of the wild radish and charlock and stuff, but there was a fair bit of wild vetch in it, which will make for good hay. It's a little bit that's some of the vetch there now in it, but there's quite a bit through the whole paddock. It was a little bit late being cut, should have been cut probably fortnight, 3 weeks ago, but because of the conditions we couldn't get on the paddock. Then all of a sudden we've had some fine weather and it's dried up. If you fell over now you'd break your neck, it's that hard. So we've got this paddock done. There's another paddock out the back which they mightn't have quite finished by the look of it, so we'll go and have a look and see what they've done there. But because it's been conditioned, it'll come in a bit quicker and left in the rows like this. If it does happen to rain tomorrow, well, it's not going to really affect it greatly if we only get a bit of rain. So fingers crossed we'll be able to rake it and without too much weather damage and get it into some sort of a bale. So there's quite a bit of stuff there actually. This is sort of not quite in the middle of the paddock, but probably some of the thickest. As you can see, there's a bit more of the vetch there with the pods and whatever. So it's going to take a little while to cure, even though it's been conditioned. And when we say conditioned, you can see where it's broken the straw every so often, and that sort of helps in the curing process. Instead of having one great big long straw like that full of sap and waiting for it to dry out, you've got it broken in so many different spots, and it just sort of helps it cure a bit quicker, which is a good thing. So that's about all I can say for this one. We'll go and have a look at the other one and see what they've done out there. Yeah, g'day viewers, back again. We're out here at the second paddock. The boys done a few rounds round the outside to make a headland, and they're obviously doing something with their harvest and whatnot, so they've left quite a bit. So this is the conditioner that they use, and you can see in there the rotating discs with blades on them, and then you can see the rollers. There's 2 rollers with edges, I suppose you'd call, on them, and that's what cracks the straw. They go between those 2 rollers and then they come out the back. The row comes out the back. So it's a good machine. They'll come back hopefully soon and cut a bit more, but we're going to leave a few acres here so we can strip for a bit of seed for next year. So Yeah. As you can see, it's a bit far gone. The oats is pretty mature now, so that's just the way it happens. So, but anyway, the mice will probably get into it, but if Mum feeds it out pretty quick, they mightn't get too much of a chance to get any. So anyway, that's this paddock. We're going in there to drench some cattle, so we better hop to it and go and do that. So as Cam says, we'll see you on the next one.
Alright, we're not going to go into the barley because probably wasting time, but there's barley in there. It's very hard to see amongst all the grasses, and we sort of had an idea that this might happen because we didn't get to spray, and because of the conditions we put the barley, because of the conditions with the barley. So give him a dad, he can explain, and you'll have a bit of a see of what it looks like behind him.
Yeah, back again. The barley was just put in for a bit of an experiment, really. Maybe to cut a bit of hay and to strip a bit of grain to basically get a bit of straw for Mother's horses and whatnot, because she likes the straw in the little squares, easier to handle and store. So, but naturally the wet took over, canary grasses run amok. It was never a money-making proposition, this one, so we'll just wait till it all ripens up and we'll put the header into it and see what sort of a mess we end up with. Probably the old header won't get a lot of the canary grass out unless it's bone dry, so it might make feed for something to eat. So yeah, we'll let you know what happens later on down the track.
Rightio, so that's just a short update on what's happening. We'll finish up here and we'll get back to what we've got to do before Dad has a fit over having to talk about this stuff. So catch us in the next one.